Welcome to the virtual class of 11th Standard English by Sacred Heart Convent School. Well, students, I am sure that during this lockdown period, you must have opened your old photos collection, your school days photographs, your family albums, and even watched your childhood video recordings. And what is the immediate reaction when we see ourselves in those old clippings? We feel amazed, marvel at our cute faces, feel good, and even laugh at ourselves, the way we are dressed up. And especially if those dresses are not in trend today. We enjoy the changes that have come over. At times, we get lost in the memories of that particular moment when that photograph was clicked. And then the memory lane becomes longer and longer till we ask ourselves to come back. Isn't it? If we talk about present times, technology has made it easy. We have all the photos in our mobiles. Rather, we don't call them photos these days, but we call them pics. The modern day vocabulary has evolved to say everything in short. Well, students, in the yesteryears, photos meant a hard copy with the glossy sheet and the image on it. You can see in the picture right in front of you. And usually it was mounted on a thick cardboard to make it more enduring. It did not get folded, it did not get torn. You can see here. There's another picture. See here. This is also mounted on the cardboard. Then this one too on a cardboard. Well, students, photographs in those days were not clicked as randomly as they are done today. One used to pose before a camera, and that is called a snapshot. Today we are going to read a poem titled A Photograph, written by Shirley Toulson. So please open your books to page number 11. A photograph. Shirley Toulson is looking at the snapshot and she says, "The cardboard shows me how it was when the two girl cousins went paddling, each one holding one of my mother's hands, and she the big girl, some 12 years or so. All three stood still to smile through their hair at the uncle with the camera. A sweet face, my mother's, that was before I was born. And the sea, which appears to have changed less, washed their terribly transient feet. Some 20-30 years later, she would laugh at this snapshot. 'See Betty and Dolly,' she would say, 'and look how they dressed up for the beach.' The sea holiday was her past, mine is her laughter. Both wry with the labored ease of loss. Now she's been dead nearly as many years as that girl lived. And of this circumstance there is nothing to say at all. It's silence silences." So let's understand certain words and phrases or expressions used in the poem before we start with the explanation. The first word is paddling. Paddling means to walk barefoot through the shallow waters, usually at the beach, at the shore that we do. Then the next word is, the expression is smile through their hair. That means extremely happy. And your happiness is visible even if the face is covered with hair. Then we move on to the word transient. Transient means short-lived, not permanent. Next we have the word snapshot in the second paragraph. It means when one poses and the other person clicks with the camera in a hand. It's contrary to the selfie that we click these days. The word wry. Wry means twisted. but in the contextual meaning here it means pricking or teasing. Labor, labor means to make an effort, and ease means to make it easy to accept something, to adapt or to reconcile to something. So we start with the explanation. The poetess Shirley sees two girls in the photograph, and both are holding the hands of an older or a taller girl who is around 12 years. This girl is the poetess' mother. The three of them are standing on the beach, and the girls seem quite excited, and they're posing for the photograph with a smiling face. Their uncle is clicking the photograph. Breeze is blowing and their hair are scattered on their face. So all three stood still, posing for the photograph, to smile through their hair. As breeze was blowing, so their hair were all scattered on their face, but the smile was visible through the hair because it was a genuine smile. They were smiling through their heart. A sweet face, my mother's, that was before I was born. As the poetess, or you say Shirley's eyes notice the other things in the snapshot, she observes the mother's face. The mother looked quite charming in her young days, and the sea, which appears to have changed less, washed their terribly transient feet. Now, as she notices the other things, she finds that the sea in the snapshot has not changed at all. This sea had washed, or you can say touched, the footprints of those three girls, and it had washed the footsteps. Now, in contrast to the sea, which has not changed, the feet have grown older. They have changed in their physical appearance. Washed there refers to the three girls. Transient feet. So these feet have grown. That means those three girls have undergone a change. They have grown old, in contrast to the sea, which has not changed at all in the snapshot. So here the poetess dwells on the permanence or the everlasting nature, in contrast to the short-lived or the temporary life of human beings. Now, some 20-30 years later, she would laugh at the snapshot. If you see in the first paragraph, it shows Shirley watching the snapshot, and the second paragraph tells us how the past memories of her mother come rushing to her as she looks at this photograph. She remembers being with her mother and together looking at the photograph. The time is around 20 to 30 years after the snapshot was taken. So mother also is looking at the photograph. She had laughed at the snapshot. See Betty and Dolly, she would say. And look how they dressed up for the beach. The mother felt amused to look at the snapshot and laughed at the other girls, her cousins' faces, and the way they were all dressed up for the beach. The photo showed the mother, her past. She relived the memories of her childhood, and through that snapshot, she was remembering her happy childhood. The sea holiday was her past, mine is her laughter. Now, presently, looking at the photo, Shirley is reminded of her mother's laughter. She says, one is the mother's past, the sea holiday that she saw on the snapshot. That means the mother, she relived her past looking at the snapshot, and the other is her own past. Her own past is the laughter of her mother, which she is reliving now. Shirley, the poetess, is missing the good time spent with her mother. The memories of her innocent laughter capture her mind because the mother now is no more. She has been snatched by the cruel hands of the death. She says, the sea holiday was her past, mine is her laughter. Both rye with the labored ease of loss. Now, both here refers to the past, both the past, the mother's past and the past of the poetess, and both the persons too. I told you labored means to make an effort, and ease means to take something to terms or take something in one's stride. So she says that no doubt this pain or the memories of the past prick them, they upset them, tease them, but both the mother and the poetess cherish their past. They felt the pricks of this happy past, but now have made an effort to accept the fact that the human life is not permanent. Everything undergoes a change. That means labored ease of loss, they have taken to terms that human life is not permanent. So her past, what was the mother's past which she has lost? She has lost the playfulness, the innocence of her past, but now has reconciled to this fact when she saw that snapshot. Likewise, the poetess has acknowledged that this loss of her mother's death is that she can only treasure it now. She can treasure her mother's laughter. Next it says, now she'd been dead nearly as many years as that girl lived. The girl was how many years? 12 years. So it shows that it has been now 12 years that her mother has left her. And of this circumstance means of this fact, of this circumstance, of this fact that her mother is no more. She's lost her mother to the cruel death. And of this circumstance, there is nothing to say at all. She says here this refers to the loss of her mother, and this loss or this pain is so intense that she feels helpless. She feels so grieved that she becomes speechless. She's got nothing to say. Its silence silences. The first silence refers to the silence of the girl in the photograph. That means the death of the mother. The mother will never be able to speak to her again. So this agony or this emotional loss that the poetess has undergone, that has silenced her. She has become speechless. That brings us to the end of the poem. Now if you see this, the poem shows three phases. Stanza 1, it shows the mother's past, the sea holiday. The second paragraph, it shows the poetess past, and the third shows the poetess present. Though she is quite disturbed, she is remembering her mother and her laughter, yet she has managed to reconcile to the fact that she is no more. Now let's quickly identify the literary devices or the figures of speech used by Shirley. In the first paragraph, the fifth line, if you see here, stood, still, smile. These three words have the first consonant as S. S has been repeated. Likewise, in the same line we have 3, T, again through, T, and there again T. So the T is repeated. Likewise, in the last line of the first paragraph, terribly transient, again TT is repeated. So the repetition of the first consonant is called an alliteration. Let's identify the other devices. The second literary device is again in the expression terrible transient feat. Now, transient feet. Transient means short lived. It's not feet that are short lived or transient, but it refers to the human life which is short lived. So, the attribute of one thing has been given to the other thing. This is called transferred epithet. Transferred epithet. Now, the third figure of speech is in the second stanza, the last line. Labored ease. Labor means to work hard, to make an effort, and ease is easy. So, these two words are put together, they contradict each other. This device is called oxymoron. Now, finally, students, what Shirley Toulson has dwelt on in this poem. Through this poem, she emphasizes the mortality of human life in contrast to the immortality of objects or things, nature. Now, the photographs help us relive our past, gives us a flash of life. They help us capture our memories, both sad and happy, but they remain eternal. How? Because they come alive whenever we look at them, but the humans do not. Secondly, the poetess helps us understand that though death takes its toll, leaves one in pain, but this is inevitable and one must come to terms to take it in one's stride. Now, students, if you reflect this poem, here the poetess is recalling her mother, just like Khushwant Singh had recalled his grandmother in the Portrait of a Lady. So we can say even Shirley is paying a tribute to her mother.